One of the things I hate most about hoarding disorder is how it can drive a serious wedge between the person with hoarding issues and their loved ones. When living under the same roof, the hoard encroaches upon the loved ones, and not just physically, socially, and mentally too. If loved ones feel embarrassed by the condition of the home, they may not invite people over out of shame. Or even if they're okay with outsiders seeing the home, the person with hoarding issues might insist that their loved ones keep the secret and not have people over. Mentally, loved ones can feel suffocated by the clutter. To someone who doesn't have hoarding issues, they look at the situation and think, you just need to get rid of all this junk. You should throw it out. But you see, that's the disorder. As the person with hoarding issues, what I see and what I feel about all this junk is very different, very complicated. Hearing suggestions phrased as, why don't you just blank, or all you need to do is blank, can feel incredibly alienating because for someone with hoarding issues, nothing feels simple. And this vast difference in perspective fuels incredible misunderstandings and conflict. You remember the comic strip Family Circus? There was a ghost character named Not Me who would do things to get the kids in trouble with their parents. And when the parents asked, who did this? The kids would answer, not me, while the ghost, Not Me, would be on the side snickering. I completely understand why loved ones and individuals with hoarding issues point fingers at each other and declare who's right and who's wrong. I see both sides. And it makes me so sad because really, it's the hoarding disorder fueling the conflict. Hoarding disorder is kind of like the ghost character, Not Me. It takes an enormous amount of patience for loved ones to try to help an individual with hoarding issues. It's this infuriating catch-22 where the individual needs outside help, but when outsiders try to help, they're often met with resistance. Because what the outsider is asking the individual with hoarding issues to do feels completely against the individual's instincts. So then the outsider might think, well, they keep fighting me, so they don't really want help. The situation is even more challenging if the individual with hoarding issues hasn't accepted that they have issues. In most cases, I don't think the individual is intentionally trying to hurt their loved ones. They're doing what their brain instinctively tells them to do. I've been trying to fight my hoarding issues for well over a decade, and I swear to you, it's hard as hell to keep pushing myself to do what feels completely opposite of what my brain tells me to do. Like throwing away plastic bags without reusing them first. It feels like I'm being asked to drown a puppy. It hurts, and even though I know I can't keep saving plastic bags, imagine how hard it is for me to go against that instinct. Imagine if I told you, yeah, that puppy's really cute and innocent, but you need to drown it. If you want to get better, you need to drown the puppy. Oh, and here are a bunch more puppies you need to drown. It's really hard. Adopting a new habit is difficult for anybody, whether or not you have hoarding issues. If you've ever made a New Year's resolution to start exercising on a regular basis, how many times have you fallen off that wagon? So imagine what it must be like to have to change a bunch of deep-rooted habits. It's not easy. It's exhausting. And when I don't succeed, I can feel like a failure and get very down on myself. It makes me want to give up. But I have to find some way to pick myself up, dust myself off, and try again. For loved ones who are frustrated with trying to help, I encourage you to learn as much as you can about the disorder. If you attempt to help coming only from your own non-hoarding perspective, you could end up unintentionally damaging the relationship even more. And try to keep in mind, the way someone with hoarding issues thinks about things isn't practical. And that's the disorder. Also, the individual with hoarding issues has to want to change. You may want them to change, and they need to change for their own good, but if they haven't accepted that they have a problem and want to change their behavior, you're fighting an uphill battle. And even if they're ready to change, it's going to be a slow process. I know loved ones can feel that their efforts are unappreciated. Someone on Reddit recently posted this. I think all this stuff is unnecessary, but unfortunately I don't have control over what's thrown away. I was just trying to make it so my parents can eat dinner at the table with as little conflict as possible for now. I wrote back, I totally understand your frustration. If they aren't on board with letting things go, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. They're lucky that you're still willing to try to help. I hope they have an aha moment so you're able to help them in ways that aren't just Band-Aids. What they wrote back made me cry. Thank you so much for this. It's such a hopeless feeling situation, and I just appreciate someone understanding. I'm glad that they are objectively lucky to have me help because it doesn't feel that way. I hope they have one as well so we make real progress. Ugh. I hate this disorder. It hurts so many people and causes so much collateral damage to innocent bystanders. Do you remember the push-me-pullyu character from Dr. Dolittle? When one half moved forward, the other half got dragged backwards. That could be the mascot for this incredibly frustrating dynamic. If anyone viewing videos on my channel doesn't have hoarding issues but is trying to help a friend or family member who does, could you please comment below and let me know if these videos help you at all? Because I'd love nothing more than to be able to help shrink that gap, if even just a little, so that both sides feel less pain. Also, if you haven't heard about Lee and Beck Shore, they are a married couple who speak publicly about their journey working through Lee's recovery from his clutter issues. I've posted links below to video of their personal stories and articles for family dynamics. Please check out their website, mutual-support.com, to learn more about their story and what they have to offer. Their website has a bunch of helpful links. Okay, this video is longer than usual, but I think it's a really important topic and hope it's helped in some way.